dealing with your half kneeling exercise progression. So in tall kneeling, we're going to move to half kneeling. So we essentially go from two bases of support to one, okay, or a tandem stance. And this is the precursor as well as single leg balance. So if somebody can't stand on one leg and you see that they're having problems with that, we like to reduce them to half kneeling. And it's just a good thing to put in your program generally. So with this one, the first step is use a pad because it hurts your knees. But what I'm going to do is just put somebody, back up a little bit so you can see me here, put somebody in a half kneeling stance. And what I cue is I want the back knee right behind the front heel, okay? Keep in mind, the wider my stance, the easier this is going to be. Obviously, the more narrow my stance, the harder it's going to be. So it is a progression. When you first put somebody in this position, I call it the walk the line position because they're going to feel drunk. So I like to put them near a wall so they can kind of use the wall for support if necessary. Okay, so all I want to do is just have them work this position out. Okay, just have them hold here and learn to control it. All right, and in this position, you should feel a good stretch here in the down leg. Think about tightening the butt cheek of the back leg and just being tall. Okay, good indication of whether or not somebody's able to stabilize here is that they're able to breathe. Okay, so I'm here. Taking deep breaths in, blowing out, stay in control. All right. From here, we can start to, much as with tall kneeling, we can start to do things like chops across the body. I like to sequence my breathing up with the chop. So deep breath in, blow out, chop, deep breath in, blow out, chop. We can certainly do things like curl presses. The focus here is keeping this back glute on. Again, what will end up happening is the person will kind of come into extension here. They'll arch their back and they'll start to feel this more in the back. So with this, just kind of looking at this side, what I'm cueing is drop the ribs down, glute tight on the back side. Okay, again, making sure this is the case. They'll continue to feel stretch here. I breathe in this position. Deep breath into the bottom. Press as I go up, and then you can start to do different things. Throwing the ball to the client, having them bounce into this position, having them come from half to tall kneeling. As you can see, it's difficult. And then even having them, transitioning up into standing and then back into tall and half kneeling. Another useful activity. But the beauty of this is, you can bias it, anything, in this plane of motion, anti-extension, more sagittal point oriented, anything across the body, sort of more rotary in nature, anything side to side. I could have the client hold a kettlebell on one side, and it's frontal plane. So just think of kind of in those terms as opposed to just thinking about strict anti-lateral flexion, anti-rotation, more kind of how we can help the person control their body in space. And that's our that is our half kneeling exercise.